My name is Kimberly Roses, and this is my testimony. I grew up with 3 brothers, 1 sister, plus me. That made 5 of us, including my mom and dad. We would go out as a family, have family gatherings, but it was not always that way. Behind closed doors, there was a lot of dysfunction that went on. My parents came from broken families, and their families' were broken. I felt as though it had been a generation curse. My parents, they wanted a family that stuck together so that they can watch me and my brothers and sister grow up. They just didn't have the right knowledge on how to do so. My dad would verbally and physically abuse my mom, and she got to a point where she started fighting back. 2 wrongs don't make a right, but that's all they knew. I knew they had love for each other. After all, they not only had 1, but 5 of us. Now looking back, what I see is that my parents were an easy target for the enemy. He knew they were weak, vulnerable to the point he made them feel as though they were each other's enemies. They knew God, but they had not devoted their life to God. At the age of 9 years old is when my mom had enough, and she divorced my dad of 19 years. From that point on, me and my sister lived with my mom, and my 2 brothers lived with my dad. And my older brother was old enough, he went on doing his own thing. From what I remember, me and my older brother took it hard. We cried looking out the window, seeing black trash bags full of my dad's clothes, and my mom and grandma waiting for my dad to pull up with the cops to give him the news. At one point, I did put blame on my parents for things I've gone through in life. I felt if I was taught better, I would be better, and I would not be going through things I've gone through. But we all go through things in life. We make our own choices, and through the pain and struggles, we come out stronger and wiser. And it's a part of our living testimony. At the age of 16, I had my first encounter with God. I was with a group of friends, sitting at a table, deciding on which ecstasy to take. I chose a blue transformer, it was called. As we were all there waiting for it to kick in, we waited to make sure we got the highest possible. So we grabbed socks and put Vicks on them, and we warmed them up for a little, and we would put it to our nose and inhale, killing our brain cells basically. As I sat there on the couch, the feeling kicked in. I remember sitting there and looking at the TV that had a blank blue screen with the CD symbol with the track number that the music was on playing. I don't remember what song was on. As I'm sitting there staring at the TV, in the corner of the TV screen, I see a sketch of Jesus' face looking down, as if he was disappointed. I remember vividly clear taking a look, then my eyes were stuck, staring. I looked away and closed my eyes, and then I opened them, and still he was there. Then my mind became so clear, as if I had no drug in my system. My thoughts changed dramatically. Then the sketch was gone. I knew what I saw was real. I told the guy that was sitting next to me on the couch, I said, "If I tell you something, will you believe me?" He said, "Yeah, what's up?" I said, "I just saw Jesus on the TV screen." I got the impression he was in that ecstasy feeling that he didn't pay much mind. Stuff that I had never thought before, I was thinking. Then I remember thinking everyone has good in them and ways I can help people. Looking at people with a different perspective, not judging but understanding people. God was trying to get through to me then. People may say I just had a bad trip, but no one can tell me different. That was God's doing. At the age of 23, my second encounter with God, I was laying down on my friend's couch crying over things that were on my mind. At the time, I had a lot going on. I was going through child custody with my son that weighed heavy on me, and I was feeling like a failure at the time in my life, doing things that I had never once thought to do. I was insecure, overwhelmed, and confused. So I knew I needed help, spiritual help. I began to cry out and pray like I hadn't before. Words that were coming out of my mouth were things I had always been thinking, just never expressed it. I wanted to live better, do better, and I was praying for guidance, and I asked God to show me signs that He was with me and that I'm not alone. My prayer was so sincere because I was praying from my heart. And as I finished praying, I put my phone under my pillow and I laid my head down. Then I hear my phone play a song, Carrie Underwood, "I'll Stand By You," a song I had never heard before. So I listened to it, and as I'm listening to it, I got the chills, and I still do to this day. because he answered my prayers. He showed me right then and there I was not alone. Through that song, he spoke to me. He let me know that he has my back and he hears my cries and that everything is going to be okay. I began to cry, but this time a happy cry. He loves me. He loves us all, and he does listen to us all. Even when we feel as though no one is there, no one can help us, he is there. I will never leave you nor forsake you. People may say that was just a coincidence that that song played at that moment, but no one can tell me different. He gave me confirmation. I asked for a sign and he gave it. Now at the age of 26, with 3 amazing kids, with their own personalities that I get to experience with and watch them grow and make memories with and time to cherish. I have not always been a great mom. I went through depression, had anxiety, felt like I lost myself and forgot my true worth and meaning in life. I knew I was a good woman at heart. I just didn't know how to be it. I took people for granted. I didn't realize I was truly blessed with all that I had. I pushed away loved ones. It was hard for me to forgive people at one point. I blamed others for things I gone through. Then I would put the blame on myself for me being the way that I was. I would compare myself to others. Then I would point out all my flaws, which would then make me feel insecure. I was just too hard on myself. The enemy had a hold on me, but because I allowed it. The devil comes in to kill, steal, and destroy, and that he had done in my life. He even had me at a point I questioned if God was even real. But God always gave me this reassurance he's been with me. He has given me this love in my heart that I had never felt before, a feeling that has never gone away, and God is love. I'm learning to love myself more these days, trying to be better than I've ever been before, mentally, physically, and spiritually, so that I can be a better person to people I come across in life. I don't want to be bitter. I don't want to hurt people. I've done it before, and people have done it to me. And when you hurt people in life, you may get the satisfaction at the time, but what goes around always comes back around. I'm not perfect till this day. I mean, nobody is. I'm going to stumble, but I will strive to get it right. I have kids that look up to me, and I want them to be proud to call me their mom. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. My living testimony. I know he's proud of me.